Well, good day, everybody. Welcome to the Lifetime Training Podcast. And today I am really excited to bring you Mr. DeVentri Jordan. He is a father of three, husband, man of God, and principal owner of GameFace training at Lifetime. And today we're going to talk about performance training, how he started this business and being able to grow it and where we're going to go into the future and get into all of the things that, there's so much out there around performance training and there's so much wrong. And we're going to get into some of that today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No
problem. It's my first podcast. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. It's fun, man. And I really appreciate, and this story that we've briefly kind of gone about. It's a wonderful story. And I would love for you to just share, how did you start this thing from, young athlete all the way to, teaming up with Lifetime and growing this thing into the future?
Oh man, great question. It's funny. I've been asked it a lot over the last 6 months. I started GameFace out the trunk of my car. Back up a little bit. I had the privilege of traveling the country. IMG, which is now Exos, what used to be API, work with some of the top performance coaches, top college coaches, top athletes in the country. It just kind of evolved, kind of came up with my own curriculum. And I just felt like we were missing true performance training in the Midwest. I'm from Minnesota. My family's here. So I came back home after my last NFL Combine in 2014. And I just decided that, I'm going to put my foot down and start up GameFace. I sold my BMW. It was really nice, by the way. I bought a Subaru Tribeca. And I took the leftover money and I bought some equipment off eBay and started training out the trunk of my car out of churches. I bought a little Beat by Dre box thing and I was grinding, man. I was grinding, my wife would make me some flyers on the computer and we would hand them out, post them up in grocery stores. And I started training my son's basketball team when he was in 8th grade, and they became a really good basketball team and people started noticing it. And then one thing kind of led to another. I moved into a small space and about 800 square feet. And next thing you know, I'm moving in at 1,400 square feet to 5,000 square feet to 12,000 square feet and, and so forth. So, man, it's been a testing ride, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, and thanks for giving that. I feel like there's a whole lot missing in between those. I mean, you talk about
there's a lot,
grit,
a lot.
Grit and hard work and heck, selling, even thinking about that, selling, your baby probably. And then, and taking that and investing it. And, what else what struggles happened in between there?
Oh man,
before we get to where we are today.
So more recently, about 4 years ago, I think that people go to business school, but School of Hard Knocks is always the best learning for me. I was cocky, overconfident. I ended up taking on too much, took on 2 spaces, which I never should have. Ended up getting evicted, kicked out of one, just because I just overextended myself. I didn't have a good budget. I didn't have anything set. I knew I was a great trainer, but the business side I was lacking at. And so I ended up going to go train out of some people's gyms. And then I ended up getting a smaller gym in Maple Grove, man. And we just knocked the roof off that thing. And it allowed for me to really focus. I think what small business owners don't understand, like a guy like myself, I'm the janitor, I'm the HR, I'm the head trainer. I do everything. And at the same time, I'm a person, right? I have a family outside of that I have to take care of, and I got to take care of myself. So I think I was talking to some guys a couple of weeks ago. Sometimes that struggle that you go through is good, right? Not all struggle is bad struggle. And if I wouldn't went through the struggle that I did and never gave up and endured it, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So
yeah, man, I can't agree with you more. I mean, it sucks when we're going through it, but if you have the mindset that everything's happening for a reason, and what can I learn from that?
Yeah.
And you take that, that's the, who's ever made it big without failing, struggling, getting beat down, it.
But the problem is, like, through that struggle, I lost my little brother who I raised last year, just out the blue, where I was talking to him on a Saturday. Matter of fact, I was talking to him Sunday morning and he passed away Sunday night. I lost my mom. So like for me, people see where I'm at today and they're frustrated, they're mad, but people don't want those struggles. The struggles that I've had to endure, that I've had to deal with to get to where I'm at, the life lessons that I learned, it's hard. And it's only, but I understand. I tell people this: the struggles that you go through are made for you. It's not made for anybody else. And you have your own type of struggles. I have mine. But the key is it's going through the struggle and helping somebody else go through their struggles.
Yeah. Now, you also mentioned, before we started recording of, what you feel is the ability and your right to be able to make it. And I'd love for you to dive into that a little bit deeper as well.
Make it. I'm making it. Me, life and business is about a journey. Um, I got, and I'm not really goal minded. I'm on a journey, and I'm on a journey to. I have a legacy that I want to fulfill. And the one thing that I've learned by talking with Brahm and watching Brahm is that your legacy has to outlive you, right? If it doesn't outlive you, then it's not a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And so my vision has to outlive me. And I'm doing this so that I could take care of my family, that I could show somebody else that grew up similar to me that, listen, you can make it. You don't have to be subject to how you were raised or what you went through in life. And you don't have to take those choices, that you don't have to be a professional athlete. You don't have to be a professional musician. There's other things that you can do to be successful.
Got it. And one of the things too is a question I wanted to ask you is, obviously you're an entrepreneur, you built
Mhm.
this thing. How in the heck did this happen, and why were those conversations? You mentioned Brahm, and now you're part of Lifetime under
Yeah,
GameFace, and
yeah.
what were those conversations, and why did you do that? Because a lot of people would never think about that, or think that
Oh
that's an
man,
opportunity.
yeah, you're right. It was funny. So COVID. So my brother had died in January, and then I kind of was going through that emotional kick in my butt. And then COVID hit in March 15th. I remember watching the governor, and they said we had to close by 5 p.m. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm not going to do it. But my conscience is telling me you got to respect your government, close down. So we closed down, and right when we closed down, I took a couple of months off. Right, I'm at home. I would drive by the gym, and check on it, make sure the electricity and stuff was, no sinks were overflowing and stuff like that. And I sat there, and I just kind of like had a revelation. I'm like, there's got to be more. I need to do more. So I reached out to a Fonda, who's a VP for Lifetime, and I wanted to be able to do some combine training at Winter Park. And Ifonda, I've been training his son for the past since he was a sophomore in high school. He's now was a junior in college at NDSU. And I didn't put two and two together at first. So Ifonda said, "Hey man, we should sit down. Let's do a team's call and let's talk." And then it went so fast. So it went to him coming out to see me, watching me train some athletes. This is around June. And then it went into, hey, he brought another VP out, Christopher Fonzie, to bring a Brahm to me. So Brahm drove all the way from Chanhassen. When he found it, we sat down, and he says, "Hey, why don't you give me a trial run for 2 weeks?" He said, "We've been trying to figure out performance training in Lifetime for the past 8 years, and we just didn't seem to get it right. And there's something that you're doing with the limited resources that you have that you're successful." So we went to New Hope, tried it out for a few weeks, went back to my gym, and then I went to Brahma. We had a meeting, and in the meeting, he said something that resonated to me, because in my mind, I was fine, right? I got my clients. We're training a lot of D1 athletes. I'm finally making some money. I'm good. Then he said, if you feel like in your heart, on your own, you can get to where you want to, you should keep just doing you. And he said, but if not, Lifetime is not a bad partner. I'm not a bad partner. I can help you scale this vision beyond your belief. Sat back, I thought about it, prayed about it, talked to my wife. And, you know, growing up how I grew up, we're kind of like, we're not, like, no, this can't be. This big company just wants to take advantage of this little company. And we were negotiating contracts for about 2 months. All of a sudden, we had one more meeting, and I just said, let's do it. So that we joined Lifetime October 1st. And now gonna be in 3 locations. We're in two right now. We're getting ready to build already down a location. We're going to expand across the United States, man, which is exciting. It's everything he told me that we would do. Saying, hey, we will make GameFace a national brand across the country. Lifetime has over 150 locations. They're the top training facility company in the world. So it's not a bad partner to be with, right? And yeah, there's some growing pains. I'm learning a lot of front end business stuff that I should have learned years ago. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to touch kids in Atlanta and Texas and Florida, Colorado, all over the world.
Man, so if you really look at this story, you go from selling your car
Yeah.
to now you're in Winter Park doing your training.
250,000 square feet
Which,
facility.
if people, for people that don't know, Winter Park is the old Vikings training facility, that we purchased and have a lease on. So, man, that's just congratulations. And I love it.
I tell people we went from 2,500 square feet to 250,000 square feet, right? It's amazing. You walk in there and, before I used to go watch practices here when I was younger. And now it's like, this is our performance training facility. Yeah. This is ours. Like, this is ours. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so surreal some days. We got 300-yard football fields. We got a cafeteria. We're buying more equipment. But it all leads to just having a vision and having a purpose and showing humility and understanding that, what I'm doing is not about me, but it's about what's supposed to be done through me.
Yeah.
Man.
Go ahead.
And I'm just excited.
Yeah. And it was funny. I was having a conversation over Facebook, which, we should never do ever, around, somebody was saying the importance of a vision isn't as important as, or what I would call the why. They were saying the why and the vision isn't as important as the what. And I was saying, hold on a second. The what you have to know, like if you don't have a what, then either the vision is going to help you lead to getting to the what, but at the end of the day, yes, the skill sets have to be there. But at the end of the day, you are never going to be as good as you can be if you don't have that vision, or if you don't have that why. Correct. You don't have that North Star that's basically guiding you. And that doesn't mean you're spending years and years and years trying to figure out a why statement or a vision statement or whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's what propels the motivation to do what it is that you want to do.
Correct. Man, you're correct, man. That's and I got my son who works with me. He's 22 years old on his last year of college. And so he's seeing the struggles, he's seeing what we've been through. And now he's seeing what can happen through perseverance and just hard work, right? So, like I said, it's amazing. It's amazing, and I want to make sure I leave something for my family, right?
Yep.
I got daughters, at a young age, and I want them to know that, hey, this is for you guys. It's for you all.
That's great, man.
So
fantastic. Well, let's dive into some more specifics. I know, in just looking through the website and stuff, you say something train different. And I would love for you to explain, what do you mean by that? Because again, it's baffling the amount of performance training that's out there that is just nonsense, and okay. I think some people are doing it because they don't know any better and they're trying to do something.
Sure.
But then there's the ignorance of knowing that they don't really know anything and then trying to do something. And so, I would love for you to go into, what GameFace is about and what that train different means.
Train different. We started using it, two taglines, win today and train different, a few years ago, because we had to start separating ourselves from the other performance coaches. And, as you see on social media, there's a lot of guys who have great bodies, who look good, and it's more about how they look versus what their client needs to get done. And so we have a true progression. Like, all of our athletes get customized program. We call it, we don't do anything cookie cutter. Every athlete comes in, gets an evaluation. We look at what they need to work on. Everybody has deficiencies. We point out those deficiencies and we cater the program based on what they need. And so usually our athletes come in, we do some type of a movement, and it's followed by the lift. Now the lift is followed by the movement that they do. And so if you're a soccer player, you will do XYZ movement, then you do XYZ lift for your sport. And I think that's the difference that we bring to the table, is that we offer true performance training. The issue that you see now in this industry is, like, you have people who used to be athletes, right? And they've trained a certain way, and now they're getting that kind of personal training, right? Got a personal training certification. Now these guys and girls are mixing performance training with personal training. And it's not true performance training. That's why we tagline ourselves train different. Yeah. And you got all these people buying these franchises, and they haven't been through the grit, through the grind like we have to understand what true progressions are. With me, I talk to some of the top performance coaches all the time, and the industry is always evolving. I'm human. I say, hey, what do you think about doing this? Should we be doing that? What about doing this way? What about this way? And these are people who are respected in the industry that I collaborate with to make sure that we're on the cutting edge and that we're offering some of the top programs.
Yeah. And one thing that I looked into too is your background of, who you went and learned from,
Yeah, yeah.
from, the performance side through, Paul Check. I actually, his
Hmm.
episode's going to air right after
Okay,
yours.
nice,
So,
nice, nice.
and he's amazing. So, it's great to see that you've got it from several different angles. And
Yeah.
then obviously
Hmm.
the experience, and some of the other things that I saw too is that you have, specific positional coaches as well for
Yes.
certain
Yep.
things as well. Would you
Yes.
mind diving into that?
Yeah. So what we try to do is we take a whole approach, and I think the issue with some performance coaches, they try to do everything. I don't know everything. So what we did, we just brought on Todd Bauman, a 13-year NFL vet, to kind of help train quarterbacks. I don't know how to coach quarterbacks. I know how to make them a better athlete. Then we brought in Rashid Hegeman, who was a second-round draft pick with the Atlanta Falcons, who went to the University of Minnesota, do some D-line work. I brought in Kevin Brown, who's a D-back specialist and a performance coach. I got it, Nico, who's been with me forever, who understands the performance side, and he's really good at footwork, creating opportunity in little spaces. That's what I call them. So I brought in these guys to kind of help round out our staff, and we're still looking for more, right? Because we want to be able to offer everything underneath one roof as a community. My son was a basketball player in college, so he's kind of heading up our basketball side of things for performance. So I bring in people for specific needs, and we all create the curriculum, and we're all one team.
Got it. One thing I'd love, to dive into a bit deeper as we think about this is, what do you see out there? I mean, there's parents listening to this. There's obviously trainers
Hmm.
listening to this. And what have you seen as one of the biggest mistakes that parents may make in regard to trying to train their kid? And again, intentions are well, but you never know how that goes.
They don't have enough information. Um, Parents, trainers, kids based off what they read on blogs or you looking at YouTube. And I'm not saying that the stuff on YouTube is not good information, but it may not be what their kid needs. It may not be the progression they need to be at, right? The kid may need to understand basic footwork, and they're doing um, high end footwork when a kid can't even do a simple ladder drill. So I guess for me, it's like they don't ask enough questions, do enough research, and really understand what their kid really needs.
Yeah, it's funny too. I always talk about you can't accelerate until you decelerate. And
Correct.
and so many people you see get on that thing and box jump, or jump, and they land, and it's just like it hurts to
Right.
even watch them land, and
Yeah.
then they're wondering why their kid is either getting injured or
Yeah.
not, not performing the way that they want. And
Yeah.
the technique side of it, anything that you can
Yeah.
go, everybody thinks, oh, I know how to run. I've talked to this about my son the other day. Oh, I know how to run.
Right.
No, you
Right.
actually you
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
But
You got me laughing. So, simple. I watch these guys. I see people on YouTube jumping 60-inch plyo boxes and stuff like that, and the form is off, and it's terrible. And in my head, I'm like, for what? Why?
Mhm.
Why? When are you ever going to really do that? When are you ever going to, like we get parents that want us to do heavy lifting with their kids. I'm like, these are kids. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put 700 pounds on a kid's back and he's in high school.
Mhm.
There's other ways to manipulate the body for a kid to get a great workout, right? When you go to college, they're going to do enough heavy lifting on their own.
Mhm.
Our goal is to prepare the kid to go to college, prepare the kid to get that scholarship, so the kid doesn't get injured. You know,
Yeah.
so the kid understands how to decelerate, accelerate. So I, it amazes me what I see
Yeah, it is, man.
on social media.
Well, and again, I like to think intentions are right, but I just think it's sometimes ignorance
You know,
and
I seen one drill. I seen one drill where a kid was doing a ladder drill, and then they were throwing like volleyballs at the kids, like like they were playing dodgeball. I'm like, you just went from doing a ladder drill to now the kid is in fight or flight,
yeah.
you know, and he's spending for his life because he's going to get hit in the face with the volleyball. And I'm just like, but you look at it, it gets 400 or 500 likes,
Yeah. Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. And again, that's again, one of the biggest reasons for this podcast is to be able to help trainers, which is the majority
Yep.
of the audience, understand and learn from people that have done it and to a
Yeah.
high level of success. Well, the other thing too is, you've got a bunch of different things services wise from performance
Yes, sir.
team, pro youth, in season, off season, you do
Hmm.
combine work.
Yes, sir.
Mind diving into some of the stuff that you do there?
So we have a few different things. We have learning the train phase, and that's getting a younger kid, kind of teaching them the fundamentals of training, understand verbal cues, movement placements. Then we have training the train phase. That's kind of like for our high school athletes who are, serious about sports now, right? They're committed to either the sport that they play, so kind of digging in and training them for that sport that they play. Then we have our training the game phase. That's more for our professional athletes, specific footwork, specific lifts, deloads, etc. So we narrowed it down to three categories now. We have team training where we train a team, volleyball teams, football teams, basketball teams, and then we have performance training, and that's a mixture of movement and lifting. And then we just have speed and agility. That's just kids coming here for footwork. They may do their lifting at their high school or college, and they come to us just to get faster.
Got it. One of the things you said earlier, just a minute ago, that I'd love for you to dive into is, I always say the fundamentals. If you look at the
Hmm.
best in the world, the most successful, the whatever sport, the Kobe's,
Right,
the Michaels, the, whomever, they master the fundamentals.
right.
And sometimes when you're trying to teach that to a kid, it's very difficult. And
Hmm.
anything that you can share with the trainers out there, or even the parents out there, to help them, like, what do you say? What do you do with the kids to get them to understand that these fundamentals are the things that you need to master? And if you do these things, it's going to take it to the next level without them just kind of breezing through it.
We always tell kids if you can't progress past the basic fundamentals, I'm going to regress you. And kids have to, like I said, they understand stride length, stride frequency, right? Lateral step, decelerate, accelerate, how to do a proper plow box jump.
Mm.
If they can't do that, then we won't go to any other drills until they get that right. And I think the problem that we see is trainers get frustrated, parents get frustrated, and they start progressing these kids, you know, just to keep the client versus doing what's right for the kid.
Yeah.
Or they put them in a group of advanced kids and they're not ready,
Yeah. And then they lose their
or they put an
motivation.
advanced kid, yeah, they lose motivation, or they put an advanced kid with a basic kid. So understanding where the kid is at, where they need to go, do a proper evaluation, proper programming is everything.
Got it. Got it. Well, that's great. Well, I would love for you to dive into now just, you mentioned your plans for growth and, how Lifetime's been
Hmm.
able to allow you to help do that. But, what are those plans and what are you looking for? Because there might be trainers that are listening to this that says, hey, I want to get involved in this. So,
um,
as it gets into the different areas.
so we're looking for coaches, basically with a CSCS or some type of a U.S. Olympic weightlifting, speed and agility background, um, that want to have a chance to grow with a national brand.
Mm.
We plan on growing in all the major states: Florida, Texas, Atlanta, Colorado, um, Canada, Toronto, Canada. We have a full field up there.
Mm.
Arizona, where you're at.
Yep.
So we plan on making our mark in all these major markets where athletes are at.
Got it. That's fantastic. And you said the requirement is a CSCS and USAW.
CSCS or
Yeah.
equivalent. Yep.
Yep.
US Olympic weightlifting.
Right.
USA track and field.
Perfect. Well,
And then also too, what we're doing, I'm sorry to interrupt you, we're
no, you're
also
good.
we're creating our own performance certification right now through LTU. So we're
Okay.
creating a level 1 certification, level 2, and level 3 through
Got it.
Lifetime University.
That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, anything else that you want to share with the audience, let them know, or trainers out there in general would be great.
I think that as a performance coach, I call us performance coaches. For me, I'm always willing to learn. There's always information. There's always new information out here. And making sure that you're not getting any information but the right information.
Mhm.
And that you have a group of people that you can counsel with on a regular basis, just to do check-ins, just to make sure that you're doing things right. I think sometimes as performance coaches, we're too prideful. We think we got it all figured out, right? I think that we always have to be willing to evolve past where we're at and listen and show humility and be humble about it.
That's it, man. I always say, I had a personal vision, that I had created early, like my second year at Lifetime. I've been 18 years now almost with Lifetime, was through the relentless pursuit of educating myself and others, change
Hmm.
the reputation of the health club trainer nationally and help people grow
Hmm.
personally and professionally.
Hmm.
And I truly believe that that vision was what allowed me. At one point, I was a director of education before I got into, where I'm at right
Hmm.
now. And I truly believe that that's it. And the two mottos I've always said is the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And there's
Hmm.
stuff happening, and what you said right there before was, keep learning, but then take that information and make sure you're bouncing it past a mentor, bouncing it past a group of
Yeah.
peers
Yeah.
to be able to vet that and understand that, and where are you getting that from? Because there's some
Hmm.
stuff out there, now that like is blowing my mind recently,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
combat, so it's just know that. And the more you know, like I said, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And sometimes what's right today is wrong tomorrow. What's wrong tomorrow is right today. So it's not
For sure.
not an easy industry.
No, you're right. It's not. And then, a new piece of equipment comes out and it changes the whole industry, man. There's
Yeah.
so much different stuff out here, man. And it's
Yeah.
blowing me away, especially now being in a position that I'm in. I'm getting to know so many different vendors, and I'm talking to, the Pat Regans, who knows everything underneath the sun about
He's the
equipment.
OG,
Oh my
man.
god. Oh my
He is the
gosh.
man.
He knows everything about, from minibands to the
Yep.
Sornex leg press machines to
Yeah.
and like, I'm just like, I didn't know there were like 8 different types of leg press machines. I didn't know, I'm just like,
It's nuts.
it just, it
And
blows me away.
master negotiator.
Master negotiator. Yeah, you can't take that out. Master negotiator.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you
So,
so much for being on, and I really appreciate it. And I look forward to meeting you in person and helping you grow this thing, and making it, as big, if not bigger than anything else that's out there, man.
amen. I'm excited about doing some more podcasts with you and
Yeah.
kind of getting to the nuts and bolts about speed and agility,
Yep.
linear, lateral, multi-directional agility, stuff like that. I'm
Yep.
excited to do that stuff with you also.
Yeah, we will. And we're going to dive into a lot more
Yes.
technical
Yes.
information as we get going. So I'm all for that, man. So thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.